Poets and Writers, I'm Katie Spivey. I moved earlier this year. Recently unpacking some boxes because that's going to be an ongoing process. It's going to take some time to finish unpacking so many boxes. I wonder if there's a glare right now. I'm gonna lift these up and then I'll fix the glare. I recently unpacked boxes of journals that my mom brought. There was a whole box of just journals, and this is not all of them, but I have a lot of journals. So I thought it might be fun to just kind of sit and go through some of them with you. Just see what past me was doing with her writing. And that's what today's video is going to be about. So if that kind of thing interests you, stick around. We'll see how cringe or how genius it is. We'll find out. Well, let me fix the curtain. These are not in any kind of order, so I don't know. There's not a lot of dates in them as I was kind of picking them up and going through, so we'll just see. This one has an adorable cat on the cover. And this one, okay, so this was my journal for, I believe, when I did a river riding class thing. It was like a summer camp kind of thing where we had an author and we were on a river trip and we would stop and write things. So the beginning one, does have a date. So this is 2005. So I was 15. Dear Mom and Dad, at camp under a cottonwood tree. Haven't been coughing too much. 'Tis a good thing. Oh my gosh. So the car ride yesterday was so long. We listened to Madonna. Made it longer. Harsh. Stopped at Burger King, and then I was very into Japanese culture, so it says Michelle San, paid for everyone. Yeah, this is kind of fun. So there's just a lot of, oh, you can kind of see there's the sunscreen got on it and it bled a little bit. That's cute. So this is just a journal of everything that was going on. So we were there specifically to write. So I was in a creative mood. Like I filled pages and pages of this thing. It goes to about here. This is kind of seems to be the way with my journals. Like there'll be a little less than half and then nothing else, which is kind of sad. It looks like I just ended it then in red pen. First one down. That's kind of fun. I'll have to read through that a little more thoroughly at some point because that's really cute. This one is a little blue kind of clothy one. Oh, there's a picture. There's a picture. This is a character I used to write about, and it starts with, and so we leave. And as we leave, I try to wash away my expectations and hopes and replace them with empty courage and a will to try my best. And this says 6/22, so June of 2022? Probably not. It's probably 6/22 of whatever the heck year this was. Yeah, I think this is the beginning of a story or something with that character. Yeah, it seems to be the beginning of a story. And then there's something going on here. This looks like the devil possessed me. Just like random. Maybe I wrote this in the dark because it says, and in the darkness I hear a sound played out. Oh, in the darkness I hear a song played out in the cool of the shallow voices of waves and of wind. In the dark where only lights dance in the sky, chords of, and then it kind of squashes together for a little bit. Interesting. So I was writing maybe a train of consciousness thing. There's a couple poems in here. This one, I'll read you one. This one's called The Heat. It's something you don't feel at first, as the water cools you and shoves it away. But as the water forms a vapor, abandoning your helpless flesh, you are exposed, and it comes upon you, squeezing out the liquids inside you. Oh my God, what is this about? Carefully baking the flesh. I need to put a trigger warning on this book. Bringing forth the colors of your innards. It says that. And then the heat. It opens the reserve flow of cooling materials locked inside your pores. This is quite a way to say sweating, okay? Like this is, girl, this is what teenage girls write about apparently, okay? In hopes that in that way your body will not fry the heat. It is a desert you deserted when you first touched the river, first reached for small salvation, washed its memory down the stream. The heat, you avoid it now, then it clutches you and leaves a scar. Damn. Okay. That was a bit intense, actually. There's a little character in here. I did not draw that. What's this? Charles P. Overtoni. Is that who this character is? Is this part? This might have been for a class then. Wait, is this also from the river trip? Oh, you know what this is? I had 2 river trips with 2 different authors. This is from the second one. So this one, I didn't write it as a journal. I wrote it as like story time, basically. I was trying to write stories. Ooh. Very interesting. Okay, so those were my river trip journals. That's kind of fun. This one is dark paper for gel pens. Y'all remember gel pens? Oh, this is poetry too. This is poetry in my best handwriting. Are you ready? My very best handwriting. As pretty as I can possibly make it. Obviously, these are like tear out pages and some of them we're trying to tear out, so there's a lot of tape in here. There's actually quite a few. I was writing this to like be a poetry book, so like about this many? Not too bad. It's very nice. It looks very pretty. It's too bad I wrote all of these so neatly. And that's back when SK Suncloud was gonna be my pen name. That's cool. Okay. Oh my god. I won't show you all of this one because I know what this is. This is actually my friend's notebook. We were writing back and forth, like characters. The characters we'd created ourselves, writing back and forth as though they were interacting with each other. So this is back in the days of like AOL and Semester. This is so funny. Actually, I have to see if I can reach out to her and see if she remembers this. It's long though. We wrote through this. It's kind of a thin journal. That's all that's like left of it, but all of those pages are pretty much filled with this like back and forth. We must have passed this back and forth during class or like between classes. Both of our characters like interacting with each other. It's so cute. I love that. Aww. I used to do a lot of that kind of thing, like passing back and forth things during class. This notebook has pennies on it for some reason. This looks like it might be another poetry. Oh my. Oh no. So there's a poem on the first page, and this is written in gel pens. This is the era of gel pens. And this poem is really lovely. And then it starts in on a story. So all the lights were off and he couldn't see her silhouette. Not even the half full moon betrayed her as she stood at the window watching them. He couldn't see her eyes as she watched them from her second-story window. The law repeating yourself right there. He didn't know what she could see. He couldn't have known how well she understood them. He could have never expected her to simply stand there as the midsummer wind blew through the night air. He could not even smell the air as she did and realized that something in his life was drastically changing. That was a bit wordy and repetitive, but a solid beginning actually. There's quite a bit of this in that shiny blue gel pen, at least 3 or 4 pages I was writing. So like a first chapter basically. Interesting. Some of these it's like, I almost want to go back and like see what's the story I was going on with here. This is quietly labeled fanfics. That's fun. What are these? Someone was into Yu Yu Hakusho. Someone was into Rurouni Kenshin. Someone was still into Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh wait, what's this one? Someone was into Gundam Seed. These are all from animes. Oh, the whole thing, all the way. It's just fan fictions. There's not like too many, but back in the day of fanfiction.net, I doubt any of those are still up. I don't think I'd have kept most of those. Wow, this is really weird. So this one, the cover is fully torn off, but taped this way to this first one. And it's a poem. Let's just go ahead and read it. I sit in the shadows waiting for morning, sun and moon so far away, trying to find my head, cry for a moment. Never any use. Tears make the sky fall down. Have to be strong. If you could see my heart, I'd die. I mask it in black and white. I fear you for knowing my dreams and my heart, but my fortress covers you, and you see me smile through. I'd die if you saw me cry, but it's all I want to do. I sit and stare. I hold back the tears. I bite my tongue. I try to write. Death I could never face, but life hurts far too much. Can I find hope in the coming sun? I can try, but I'll mask it if I can't. I don't want to be weak, so you'll never see my pain. I was an angsty teenager. There's a lot of poetry in this one. Oh, let's read another one. Just one more. One more from this one. I'll read the last one in here. It's on a very crinkled sheet of paper, so I clearly had this open for a while. I will touch your world someday. When the moment's right, I'll throw away the stupid key and melt away the night. I'll climb the wall. It's make or break. I will do since I won't die. Someday you'll hear my name on a stranger's lips and you'll have to think of me. You'll finally see what I've done. Will you still smile at me when I was right and you were wrong and the earth has spun and it's all begun? That one is full of cliche, but that was pretty cute. Okay. Another journal that's completely falling off. It has a cute cover though, but it's completely falling apart. Oh, this is a story then. Let's see, this is the first. And it looks like I've revised it because I cut out a whole section. So on a street in a city in England, far, far from the wandering eye, and it's from the wondering eye of any passers-by, it is said there is a castle. It was left in the early medieval times when the world was still ruled by kings and queens. They say a sorcerer placed upon the castle a powerful curse. No one ever ventured into that castle ever after. The villagers all packed up and left. The area around the castle grew with trees and shrubs. Now you can't even tell where it stands unless you find yourself on its doorstep. It's a very classic beginning. But then the next part, you call that a ghost story, complained a pig-nosed boy with choppy blonde hair wearing a backwards Yankees ball cap. Well, no, said the flight attendant, slightly taken aback. She cleared her throat and flipped her short brown hair over her shoulder. It's just a legend of the town at which you'll be staying. The villagers are quite fond of it. You'll probably hear it several more times while you stay here. Oh, I think I tried to write a ghost story. Oh, it's pretty long. Oh, dang. Everything I wrote, like the first chapter of so many little stories. That's pretty cute. I might have to look into that a little bit more. That's fun. Okay, this one, for some reason, says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one, I was even younger because I did spaced lines. So I was learning handwriting. So this is pretty old then. Should we read the first? Should we just read the first story? This is really young. This is super young. Okay, here we go. Brenda, come inside. It's getting windy. That's my mom. A 100% worrywart. She never thinks that maybe I like the wind swatting at my dirty blonde hair and into my face, making my eyes close, then reopen when my hair wisps away again. Coming, Mom, I said dryly. I remember my dad saying my eyes, wow, she just like, this is pretty old. I remember my dad saying my eyes were like the ocean waves in the middle of a spring day. I wonder what that means. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I was definitely like learning how to tell stories here. He's in Oregon now, doing some sort of business thing. I admit that I like my mom best. Sometimes I can't stand my dad, but I love them both, especially my little sister, Tammy. And she looks just like me. She's 9 and really cool, even if she's 5 years younger than me. So the character's 9, so I'm pretending that my character's 14 here, but I was clearly not 14. 14 must have been a cool age then. I suppose that by now you probably want me to tell you a bit more about myself instead of my family. Okay, here I go. No, I'm gonna stop there. That's too cringy. It's pretty bad, but I must have been like 10 or younger at this point. I wish I had more dates on things. I started dating things later on, but I wasn't dating things back then. Oh, here's one, 2002. So this then, I was 12. Oh my gosh, I have to cover some of these things. This then I was 12 because it's 2022. Got my real name on shit. I gotta be careful. Oh, here's another story. I wrote so many stories. That must be where I kept all of these. Oh, wait. Okay, the very last thing in this journal is, what falls to the ground in the middle of summer and a child is likely to do with a heavy tray? Raindrop. I think I was trying to come up with a riddle, but this is another story. The sails waved with the wind, blowing like wisps of cloud over the ocean. The wedding had begun. Bells rang and people murmured. From in the audience, I heard my mother's wailing cry like the wail of a coyote in the dusk. Interesting. I must have like really been emphasized writing that hook, right? At some point in my life, because there's some interesting hooks there. Okay, what's this one? This one, oh, this is my notebook from when I studied abroad. So this is my school notes. But there's a bunch of things in here. There's some worksheets and things, but there's also some printed out poems that we did for class. Oh, fun. Another failed poem about the Greeks. Does it say who this one's by? To the Lions. I wonder if this is Adrienne Rich. I'm not sure. We definitely like learned about her then. There's a whole bunch of poems in here. Just like pages, photocopies from poetry books. A whole bunch in here and all of my notes. Oh, Sharon Olds. Is that who we were writing about here? All my class notes. Women in American Poetry was like my favorite class, but I had a bunch. I took American Literature, Women in American Poetry, because it was fascinating to get the English perspective on American writing. So different. And I think I took British Romanticism. dang, I don't remember what the other class was, but then Women in American Poetry and American Literature. God, I don't remember the last one. Is it in here? Maybe it'll say. There's British Romanticism. I was not actually allowed to take all of those classes. Oh, and it's just an English, a general English, maybe? Yeah, maybe just a general English class. Really cool. Oops, that should go over there. This is another tiny journal. What's in this one? Then this is the journal I kept while I was in England. Yeah. So I kept this while I was in England and then on a bit longer. But this is the little journal, like my flight over. And that was kind of a hard experience at first. I kept the journal mostly because I didn't have internet access or cell access for a while, so I wanted to keep track of everything so that I could then let my parents know what was going on and how I had been. When I landed in England, there was no way to contact them to let them know at the time that I had gotten there safely. And that was the one thing, and they were like, try and hook up to the Wi-Fi at the airport or something, like try and just let us know you're okay. And I couldn't contact them for like 2 or 3 days, where I just had no contact with them because the school had it set up. I went there for the Freshers Week. And the school had it set up, you know, it's your first time out of the house. It's the first time away from your family. So there's no internet for the students for a couple of days so they can kind of get used to being away from home and all of that. And that's great and all for people who are not living that far and whose parents are dropping them off and everything. But like, I had no way to let my parents know that my flight had made it. It was to the point they had to eventually call the school and like make sure that I was okay. And I was doing so poorly. Like, I keep wanting to write a story about that. I've written a story about that. I need to revise down and like make it interesting, but it was tough. I kept the journal because of that, and so I have really good journaling notes. I took very extensive notes while I was there. I have 2 drawing notebooks. They're labeled 1 and 2. This sketchpad was received December 23rd, 2005. There's a whole declaration in here. All pages were filled by July 10th, 2006. Because I was good at some things. There's a lot of drawings in here. Oh, let me find a good one. Because there's a lot of little sketches. I was very anime style, having a good time. Oh man, this is a fun one. Here's like a vampire character. Look at that. I could art a little bit at one point. That wasn't too bad. That's fun. Let me see what else we got. Oh, look at this. It's in color and everything. Oh, look at that. I was really arting it up for a while. Oh, here we go. Some little kitsune celebrating. That's super cute. That is a naked person. There's a lot of fan art of things. Oh, it's somewhat adorable. Wow, I drew a lot of things. I think some of these I may have drawn for people, like commissions. But look at this. Oh my god. I don't have a DeviantArt anymore, but I'll bet I put these on my DeviantArt account. Oh, look, that's another character I like. These are fun. Oh my god, okay, fanficky, very much everything. But like, remember how I said I was into Yu Yu Hakusho? Look how much time I put into that, y'all. Look how much effort. That was pretty good. Someone is not a bad artist exactly. Oh, there's that same character, but like mad. Look at all of that. I was drawing tears and things. I wasn't a bad artist. Look at what I did with these pants. I was even getting like her leg within the pants. I don't know. I gave up drawing a while ago. Some of these art commissions, I can tell, from back in the days of Gaia Online or something like that. Oh, I drew a violin. These aren't bad. Oh, there's some really cute stuff in here. Rock Lee. Look at that guy. Getting some action poses. I was putting a lot of detailed work into it. Oh my god. Look at this. This is the main character for a story that I still think about a lot. I still want to write. But it was such a complex story that at the time it was hard to even start it. And I had started it, but it was like there were so many layers and so many things I wanted to do. And then it kind of, I think Game of Thrones may have really thrown me off because it was that type of, it would have been popular with the Game of Thrones crowd, but Game of Thrones did things where I was like, it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, I don't want to be compared to it, I guess was really the thing. And it really, like, I haven't written it in a while. I haven't worked on it at all. It's not the story I've been trying to get done. Okay. That's enough of journal number 1. Let's see what journal number 2 has to offer. Well, some more fan art, I'm just saying. Someone really enjoyed doing fan art. Ooh, here's a good one. In my Naruto days, I think these were probably like own characters, or it could be like me and my friend. That's pretty nice. I was really getting into poses and things. I don't know what this is, but I clearly got some charcoal on my hands. That was fun. She's cute. Yeah, I must have gotten charcoal because a lot of these are now in charcoal. And some of them are just like random little things. Oh, I was really into this, but I didn't finish a lot of these. A lot of these ones are just sketches that are unfinished. That's cool. I haven't drawn in a really, probably since high school. I haven't drawn anything. What's in here? Oh, this is all my like Lancaster. You got accepted to the school stuff from when I studied abroad. There's only a couple notebooks left. If you're already like, what the heck? There's more! This is the black one. A lot of these spiral ones were just like what I took to school. This first one says questions. School? Question mark? College? Question mark? Did you have trouble? Who is this for? Oh, I interviewed someone. Who did I interview? Oh my God. I'm not sure. There's a lot of different places that they're moving all around here. But I think I took a class twice in high school, and I was super into poetry. And so the main thing that the teacher had for everyone in the class was this final project. But for mine, because I was taking it the second time and I believe I was a senior that year, she asked me if I wanted to go with her after hours to go and interview this old woman that she knew, that she had kind of been, spending time with. So I would go over like once a week to my teacher's house, and she would drive us to this woman's house, and she was an older Russian woman, and she would just tell me about her life, and I would take notes. I think I tried to do voice recording, and that just like totally failed at the time because I had this like cheap ass voice recorder, but I took a lot of notes. And then eventually I wrote a story from one of the stories she told. I wrote a story about the story she had told me, and that was my final project. But I took a lot of notes. She was fascinating. She lived so many places and done so many things. And she also told me about like how Russian names work and things like that. Like, it was so cool. It was such a cool opportunity to be able to do, and I don't think I appreciated it enough at the time, like what an opportunity to learn about this person's fascinating life I was being given. I don't think I valued it as much as I could have because I was a teenager. I was like 17, 18. So I definitely didn't value it as much as I should have. But it was such a great thing that teacher really, Mrs. Barron is her name, and she was phenomenal. And she really pushed me into poetry during a time when I could have dropped it as just like I used to like poetry and now I'm an adult and I don't need poetry anymore. Like that age of teenage rebellion. But she really like understood how teenagers kind of worked a little bit, I guess, and she really like praised me enough and pushed me enough that I was then like continued to be interested in poetry. Such a great thing that she gave me that opportunity to talk to that woman. The woman's no longer around, so it was really like a big deal that I was given that glimpse into her life. And also, fascinatingly, one of her caretakers, one time, I don't know why she told us about it, but she explained to me in detail, like this younger, like, spunky little lady, she just told me in detail how to hotwire a car. And I always thought that was the funniest thing. I know how you hotwire a car, I understand it now, but it's because of that opportunity I had. This one is just a really beautiful notebook. It seems to be completely blank. I'd love to use that for something because it's so pretty. This is another one that's just a blue note. Oh, this is very old. Oh, this is extremely old. Oh my. This is from 1999. I'd have been 9 years old. Oh my, there's a story though. Chapter 1, Old Faithful, and it's back toward my future. F-U-T-E-R, future. Hum-de-dum. Oh, you're here. It was Monday and Pup, my best friend, was coming over. Hi, she smiled, out of breath. Oops, I forgot to tell you who I am. I'm Kat, short for Karen. I don't think Kat is short for Karen, child. I'm 12 and have long brown hair and bright blue eyes. I liked being older in stories, didn't I? How funny. Oh, it's very cute. Yeah, there's a whole entire story in here. This reminds me of a time, the reason I wanted to write novels was actually, what was it, like 3rd or 4th grade? We were supposed to write a page of a story. It was literally, it was like 500 words, a page handwritten of a story, and I got into that story and I turned in 30 pages and the teacher was like, this is too many. They're like, this is impressive, but this is too many pages. And from then on I was like, I am an author. And then, you know, that kind of ebbs and flows throughout the years. That was funny. What's this one? This is actually my planning when I was planning An Isolated Storm, my first chapbook. This is kind of me planning out how the chapters would go. I think it changed a lot from this like planning stage, but interesting. It had a different name at first, but I was just kind of writing in what the poems I wanted were and kind of mixing around where things would go. This is the last one from this stack. Oh, this is super old too. Purple at the beginning. And this looks like this is also a story. About 3 pages of a story. I'll read the purple part. I was told once that you have to be true to your heart, and if others don't like it, then that's just too bad for them. But I can feel my heart cry out, and I'm going to listen to it, now and forever. No matter how steep the way gets, I am my heart, and I'm always going to love my writing, even if the rest of the world thinks it's trash. The only thing that matters is that I'm happy. I love to write, so I'll write a story and sing you my heart, even if it breaks some glass. I am my future, and my head, in my head and in my heart, my future is bright and beautiful. Oh, that coincidentally was a great place to end on. That was really fun. I wrote a lot as a child. This isn't even all the journals. And then I would like rip out pages too and throw them away. Like half of these are missing half their pages, which could be that they were school pages I ripped out and I started using the journal. But at some point I became interested in using like composition notebooks, probably around like 6th grade. And so a lot of my stories ended up in there and I started using those as my like full-time journals. Let me know what you think. I just thought this would be a fun thing to go through today. Look through some of my old journals with me. I hope you're having a lovely week. Good luck if you're writing that NaNoWriMo. Like, good luck to you. Hopefully you're hitting your word counts and making it through. Gambate. Fighting. Those are the only 2 languages I know any encouragement in. So I'll talk to you again really soon. Good luck to you. Good luck to all of us.